Okay, so I'm recording, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through a site from scratch. So this will be kind of the beginning of the beginning. I know that's kind of late in the game to do this, but it's great to have custom or touchstone to do this. So I am recording it, yeah. So what I've got is I've got my dashboard here. I've created a new site in WordPress on Pantheon.com or Pantheon.io. It's WordPress 8. I've set my password as an admin. I'm all set. Now I've installed it and I'm logged in as an admin. So what I can do is I can actually come up to my site, and I'm actually going to left click on this and open it in a new tab. So I have the dashboard and I have the site. So this is a brand new site. So step one, I'm going to change my theme to 2012. And the reason I do this is because it's a nice blank slate and it gives me kind of a good base theme to start with. And so again, I can come back to my site here and I can refresh, and now I've got this layout. I look at the PDF on lolcats, and I want it. You know, this is pretty similar to what I want. It's got this menu bar across the top. It's got this information here. I've got this sidebar here, and I want that in some pages, and some, and I want it gone in other pages. There's other ways to get this sidebar, but it is a kind of a no-brainer to do that. So what we'll do is on another video we'll talk about. I take it back. It's a no-brainer to want that. It's not a no-brainer to do that. So we'll dedicate another video to having this sidebar appear on other pages. But what I'll do in this video is show how to get rid of that. So there's a few things. You know, like I said, the rough layout. It's very plain. So it gives us lots of room to add style and make it look like the PDF in lolcats. So I've got my theme here. First thing I'm going to do is I want to clean this up a little bit. I want to get rid of this sidebar. I want to get rid of this information on the top here. So really what I want is this menu bar across the top here. Actually, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see this. I want this menu bar across the top, and I want this article here, and I want the article to stretch all the way across. So that's what I'm going to do first. Is I'm going to come back to my theme editor, and I'm going to just I'm going to customize the site, and I'm going to zoom out here a little bit. First thing is site identity. I'm going to wipe out a few things here. So display site title and tagline. This is the site title and tagline. So I'm going to kill that. Boom. Now I get my menu bar at the top. Awesome. And I'm going to save it. So yep, I'm going to publish that. And I'm going to go back. And then I can add a header image here. I don't have it uploaded, but if that's where I would add that header image that goes all the way across here, the lolcats. But before I do that, I'm going to add my widgets. Or I'm going to manage my widgets. So I have this widgets bar, and what widgets are collections of code or collections of things that will do things that can do things on the site. Things like search, things like recent posts, recent comments, things like that. So if I go main sidebar, it'll tell me what's installed on the main sidebar, and this is the main sidebar. So I'm going to just start wiping these things out. I'm going to just say get rid of that, get rid of this. You can see them disappear as I make these changes. If you have anything in the main sidebar, it's going to mess up your code. You notice your article is only about 3/4 of the way across. You want that to go all the way across. So now I come to meta, and now watch, boom. So the text here didn't go all the way across, but this bar went all the way across. And if I went in and edited this post, it would. I could make it go all the way across the page. So now I've got some space and some control I can set on the page itself, or I've got a blank slate to do customization. So I'm going to publish that, and I'm going to close that. So at this point, what I would recommend is making some posts. So throw some images in here. If I go to all posts, And really what you want is just stuff to work with, because you're going to be building dynamic content, and you need some dynamic content to work with, right? So if I go to add new, I'm going to call this my first post. Now you can copy the stuff from, I don't know if I have installed, if I still have it here. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't have the images here to download, so I'm not going to do that right now. So I'm going to just close this. But normally I would throw a bunch of images, throw an image in and have some text below it. But I am going to go and get us some lorem ipsum. Wasn't there a lorem ipsum cat generator?
Something like that. This is the
Cat ipsum.
furrier Ipsum.
Awesome. And I don't want, I mean, this is an article. I don't want a ton of stuff. Well, it doesn't really matter, because we're going to just show snippets and long stuff. So we can go nuts here. So I'm going to copy that. I'll hop back to my post. And like I said, normally you drop an image in here and from media, and you've got your image. So before we go away from this page, I'm going to add a couple of things. I want to have categories, because again, this is dynamic content, and I'm going to be building little buckets for this content to go places. So to do that, I'm going to put things in categories, and I'm going to say, look, in this bucket, only show things from this category. In this bucket, I'm only going to show things in this other category. So I'm going to add a new category. I'm going to call it articles. I'm going to add that. And just while I'm here, I'm going to make one called posts. And I'm going to add that. And I'm going to uncheck posts. So this is going to be an article. It will go in the articles bucket. So I'm going to go back to the top, and I'm going to publish that. And, you know, we can keep doing that. And obviously it's still on my clipboard, so I might as well. And I'm going to make this an article. I'm going to publish that. It's really that simple. And really you want to make it, I mean, the user is going to be doing this for you, right? You just need kind of dummy posts for now. And then I'm going to add a new, and I'm going to pass this and say blog 1, and I'm going to call it a post, and I'm going to publish that. Blog 2. Obviously, I'm very, very concerned with what I'm writing here, right? Blog 3, just so we have stuff. You can go back and pretty this up later. So now if I go to all posts, it's going to show me I've got blog 3. It looks like they didn't all take, so maybe I got a little carried away. It also has, you know, I've got my categories here. So this hello world, we can actually just use this hello world and drop it into an articles category for now. And update that. So anyway, so I've got my posts. The next thing I got to do is install some plugins, and I'm on a tight time schedule here. I don't want to make this video last forever, but I'm going to add just 2 plugins here. One is called AMR Shortcode Any Widget. So I'm going to install that. These are probably the 2 most important plugins. What's the other one? That was the lists category, right? Whoops, I want to install a new one, add a new. And this is it right here. So this is where things get a little tricky. We're going to add a couple pages here just for fun. So right now I've only got a home page, a sample page. So I'm going to add a new page. There's not going to be much in it, but we're going to call it home. And we're going to publish it. And then I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to call it blog. And just for fun, I'm going to add another one, and and I'm going to call it calendar. And I'll come back to that later. Great, so I've got my pages, and I've got my home page here. So let's just add a widget here, and I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do this kind of quickly, but there are other videos out here that show it. So if I go down here into my appearance and I go to widgets, I've got an area here called widgets for shortcodes, and what this does is this doesn't actually place it anywhere. It's a shortcut builder. It builds a shortcut to let me put this widget anywhere I want, and I can take any of these widgets here and drag them on to this area. But I'm going to use the one that specifically that I just installed, list category posts. And this is going to be called articles. And I'm going to say, look, show me just articles. I'm going to show me I want you to show me 3 articles. Again, I've done this in other videos, so I'm going to just do this kind of quick. I'm going to say, show me, I don't want to show me, don't show me a thumbnail, show me an excerpt. And show me, like, I don't know, 80 characters. And I'm going to say more link is more, ... And that's it. So all I did was I just said, by default, this will show the title. So it's going to show the title and a chunk of the blog post. And then you can click on it for more and get more information. So click Save. And what it does is it gives you this little shortcode widget. And this is a way that WordPress does shortcuts to show content, and there's lots of different ways to do these little widgets or these little chunks of snippets of code. But this is one way here using list category. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go to my home page, and I'm just going to paste that little widget in. Notice it's got the brackets here, the front and the back. And so I'm going to update that. I'm going to go to the page. And there's my articles. So remember, this was blank before. So I've got my home page, and and when I go back and I put my header image in, I can put my header image in the site appearance, and so that'll show up here. And then my articles will show up below that. And I can throw in other widgets, or I can throw in just straight HTML, custom code. So I've got some control over what I'm going to be dropping into these things. So I could, like I said, I could come back here. And I could go to text mode here, and I could put in, you know, heading 1. So I can mix these little widgets. I guess this is, and obviously you don't worry about putting this in. If you're watching this video, don't copy exactly what I'm doing. I'm just showing you. You can drop in your own HTML here, and you can actually have some columns, and you can have divs and wrap stuff up, right? And you can mix that with these little widgets. And so if I say update and then view the page, so there's that hello world, and then here's that AMR shortcode widget right here. And I can, because this is a list, I can just go nuts. I can right click on this, inspect element, edit the CSS. And again, I've done that in other videos, but if I go to inspect here, I can say it's an aside, it's list category post widget 2 is the ID, and then you can go after the list items. You can set your style to go after the list items and set them to 1/3 of the width, and so on. So there's, like I said, there's other videos on my YouTube channel that have done that, but this is a way to control, like I said, and get these things to show up like it does on the front page. So what have we done? We've made the site, we've made some pages, we've put some plugins in, we've put some content in, we've made a widget and we've dropped it into a page. So this is how, this is going to be exactly the same as doing on the blog page, right? You're going to put that recent posts and blogs we like all as widgets in this listing too. But they aren't going to be excerpts, they're going to be just a list, right? Just the title and the date are going to be in here. So I'm not going to bother with that. And then calendar, again, I've got a couple other videos that I've done on that. I don't want to show that from scratch, but you're going to install the WD events or event calendar, I think it's called, plugin in, and then there's really nothing to do. You just basically install it, and then you go to the calendar page and edit it. And in the calendar page, close this, there will be a calendar item here, and you just drag it in. And then that magically shows your monthly calendar, or a calendar by month. And again, you can throw some articles in there to test it, make sure it works, but it's going to be dynamic. Okay? So, like I said, I don't want to chew up how much time we've been doing this. How long have we been doing this? It doesn't say. Too long. So this is a long video to watch. I'm going to stop now. The last, actually, okay, I'm not going to stop now. The last thing you need to do is, this is where the money's at, is where you guys all earn your cash, is to do the CSS. So, like I said, I clicked on that. If I come back and refresh this, and so there's my home page. Notice there's 2 home pages here. Again, I have a video on that the first week, but I can come in and inspect this. And what was that called? List category widget, right? There you are. So I can come back to the editor, and so another plugin is a simple CSS plugin, and so you'll see there's a separate plugin for custom CSS. So you don't want to edit this style sheet. You want to edit your own custom style. So I think this is it. Is this it? Looks right. Say yes.
Yes.
There we go. So now I can come to Appearance, Simple CSS, and I can say things like, look, just on the body, we're going to get back to exactly the same set I just deleted 5 minutes ago. And I can come back and refresh this, and my background's been changed. And again, the list category widget is save it, hop over, refresh. So now they're a third of the page. It helps to do this like 3 or 4 times. It's like the demos get a lot better at the end of the demos than at the beginning. And it was a list, and it was display, inline, block, floats, left. This code is going to error out because I don't have a semicolon right there. That's why this didn't go right. Save it, come back, refresh, and so there it is. And so it's not perfect yet. I think in the other video I messed with the margins and the padding. Okay, so there we go. This thing, like I said in the other video, this was a pain also, and it is tricky. If you guys turn this in with MORE down the side here, I'm probably going to forgive you because I haven't been able to figure it out. If you do get rid of it, I don't know. You get an honorable mention in the Hall of Fame of WordPress publishing. So anyways, you can see that I'm starting to rough in this site, right? You can play with margin on this. You can go after this list. This is just a list, so you can go after this list. The very last thing I'm going to demo, and then I'm going to call it, is getting rid of 2 home pages, right? So you've got a home page that shows all of your posts, every blog, and all of that. I don't want this. I want to have my home page be my home page. So I'm going to come back to my, let's see, I think it is customize, menus, no, Anybody remember where it is? Yeah, homepage settings. So latest post, I don't want my latest post to show up here. I want a static page to show there. And so now I just come down to home. And so now this is my home page, and I publish it. And if I come back here and refresh this, it's right. So I've gotten rid of that. So long story short, gallery, again, there are media and slideshow plugins for this. It takes a little bit of poking, but there are a lot of easy ones, relatively easy ones out there. Find one that has a lot of downloads, and you will find lots of YouTube videos to go along with those downloads. All right, I'm stopping. That's it.